I won't be searched.
Go!
Hey guys, it's Will. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be a Patreon video. I don't know if it's going to be an exclusive Patreon video or an early release, but if it is going to be an early release, it's going to be like at least a month early. Like I won't put this up on YouTube publicly for quite a while. It's kind of an experiment to see what works for Patreon and what people want to see and whether our patrons want like completely, totally exclusive content, or they don't mind that somewhere down the line it does end up on YouTube. So it's kind of an experiment. The video is Supercop 2 versus Project S. So that's what I'll be talking about today. Supercop 2, which I have the DVD of right here, is the US title for what was a spin-off to the Police Story series. So Police Story 3 in the US is called Supercop. The Michelle Yeoh character got her own film, which was also directed by Stanley Tong, who directed Supercop. And in the US it's called Supercop 2, and in the Hong Kong version is called Project S. The Hong Kong cut, which I will refer to as Project S, as I remember in this video, that's what I'm hoping to do, at least to differentiate them, is about 8 minutes and 20 seconds longer than the US cut. So I have notes on my computer right here. I'm going to be reading a little bit off of my computer. Just to let you know when I'm looking down here, that's what I'm looking at. So there's a website called moviecensorship.org. I will put the link in Patreon. If you're in Patreon, I'll put the link in like the little description area of the video, but I'll also put it in the YouTube description if you go to YouTube to watch this video, because this will be an unlisted video on YouTube, which is how I post stuff on Patreon. So the link will be in two places if you want to see it. Moviecensorship.org has gone through and listed every single difference between these two cuts. I'm going to show you footage in this video so you can actually see differences. But if you want to see every single minute thing, check out this website. There are 43 cuts. So 43 things were taken out of the Project S to release it as Supercop 2. And a lot of these are really small. So like in an action scene, for instance, there will be like a reaction shot where like a character looks back at another character and they have like one line of dialogue and then keeps going. Like stuff like that will be taken out of the US version, presumably because the US distributor just wanted the action and they wanted the scene to just run, right? And like to not have those little moments, which I mean, obviously they're better filmmaking and they make for a more enjoyable and more immersive experience, but you can also understand from the point of view of someone who's only trying to make money off of this as an action film, thinking cynically, they'd be like, well, we don't need that little moment. You know, it's like, but those are the moments that make movies great, right? Like in a lot of ways. There's 5 things that are cut out completely. So like I said, 43 recuts, 5 things cut out completely. And then there's 3 instances in which the order of events has changed, which is pretty interesting, but it's nothing major. And like I said, 8 minutes and 20 seconds is about the difference in length between these two cuts of the film. The thing to me that makes the biggest difference between the versions of the film is the music. The music is so different in the Hong Kong version and gives it such a different tone and such a different feel. And I think I much prefer that tone and feel. It's darker, it's more brooding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a couple little clips here with playing the original version with the original music, and then playing the Supercop 2 US version with the US music, so that you can just kind of see not only the differences between the music, but how that alters the tone of the film. So just watch these clips here and check that out.
Come on, up here!
You gotta get cracking, guys. They're heading in right now.
MP 加到場，全個唯有抄車到咗，爽手少少。
收到。
Another difference is that there's voiceover added to Supercop 2. You notice at the beginning and it's at the end. And at the beginning, I guess it kind of makes sense if they're like thinking that maybe the audience won't remember Supercop, or they're not familiar with the Michelle Yeoh character. They don't know the Police Story series that well, and they feel as though they need to kind of set up what's going on. I don't really know what purpose it serves, other than exposition essentially for the audience. Like, hey, in case you don't know what's going on. At the end, there's also voiceover, and I'm not really sure what that adds to the film, to be perfectly honest with you. It's not bad, but I'm not sure that it brings anything necessary to the narrative. So I'm going to play you the shot at the beginning that has some voiceover, both the version with the voiceover, and so you can see that same shot in the original and see how it plays.
I'm a cop. That's my life. As a cop, personal feelings can't get in the way of work. But they do.
So now I'm just going to talk a little bit about some things that were cut out completely. There's a scene where one of the bad guys is interrogated by the cops, and that was taken out completely, and it doesn't really affect what you see if you don't know it's there. But when you do know it's there, it adds tension to the film, because you know that there was that conversation between the cops and the bad guys, and you kind of you understand more about those relationships and stuff like that. So here's just like a tiny little clip from that scene so you can see what was cut out.
頭先班伙計家要向你重手咗，唔好意思喎。如果你肯合作，這方面給你援助。只你講俾我聽，你今次落嚟嘅目的，同埋你班同黨嘅下落，我幫你申請轉做控方證人。
So that's that clip, and then there's another scene with the bad guys. Where they kind of have a meeting. It's after like one of the big events in the like around the middle of the film happens. The bad guys get together and have a meeting to kind of like catch up and see where they are on their evil plot, right? That scene is taken out entirely from Supercop 2 version of the film. So just check out like a tiny bit of footage from that scene here.
Down. 你用英文同佢講，唔好以為咁少錢可以買起我哋，個計劃唔可以取消。佢識聽廣東話嘅。
I planned this job for many years. I won't let you guys screw it up. I don't want to be caught. You guys are all over the news.
And then, like I said, throughout the film, there's a lot of little changes. Like there's a scene where the Michelle Yeoh character meets up with like her former boyfriend, and like there's slightly different sequences of events in that scene, and like most of these differences are very subtle. And if you didn't know they were there, unless you were watching with like a forensic eye, you probably wouldn't notice. But to me, the music really changes the film, and taking out some of those little moments really does kind of alter the viewing experience. But to me, it was really the music where I was like, this is a totally different movie. Like the Stanley Tong's vision of what this film is has just been completely altered for the American version. Like just because of that change in the music, of taking it from tonally like a brooding kind of heroic bloodshed girls with guns type piece to like action, 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 action. And a lot of those little tweaks where they take things out, I think, add to that experience of action, 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 because they're taking out character moments within action sequences, and they're also taking out largely the scenes that were completely removed are really just people talking. So you're taking out character and that kind of development in favor of foregrounding the kind of inertia of the forward movement, excuse me, of the plot and the action scenes. So this is Supercop 2 versus Project S. This is a Patreon video. My name is Will. You're watching Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. A huge, huge thanks to all our patrons because they help me buy releases that I review on this channel, and they help us buy like equipment like tripod for the camera, and like I'm totally blanking on hard drives for like storing all our footage and digital versions of movies and stuff like that. And then also the memorabilia that we're collecting to create this kind of what do you want to call it, Hong Kong Cinema Archive. We've bought 5 original like vintage posters from original theatrical releases of Hong Kong films. We got a couple Jackie Chan ones, a couple John Woo ones, Shaw Brothers one. So that's like, we're building the archive with the money that people are giving. So it really is helping a lot. Like I said, I'm Will. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.